Welcome to Degen Cove. So what I'm doing here is I've loaded up $5,000 into a fresh brand new wallet, and my goal is to see if I can actually trade this up to about 50K. And I'll post the actual wallet address down below so that you can follow along on chain if that's something you're interested in doing. Now, there is a very, very high likelihood that this doesn't go well for me, so you should consider this for entertainment purposes only.
Certainty of death? Small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
I've got the 5K on Solana, a little bit of Sol to pay for transaction fees, and I also loaded up an ETH wallet with 0.01 ETH, and I might, bridge this to, let's say, an Ethereum layer 2 at some point to try and do some degenning over there. So I'll throw that wallet down below as well. And those are going to be likely the two places where I end up actually trying to trade. It's not impossible that we go to another blockchain, but those are the two that I'll probably be focusing on. So today I'm actually going to make the first purchase in this Degen wallet, but before we get to that, I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this now and just generally what the strategy is going to be. So to answer the first part of the question, why now? Basically, the entire crypto market, aside from Bitcoin, has been down only for a little while, and some altcoins are down bad. So for example, if we took a look at the AI coin sector, AI memes, whatever you want to call them, most of these are down significantly. Some of them are down more than 80–90% from their all-time highs just like a month ago. It's not just AI coins though, it's also meme coins and utility coins, basically everything other than Bitcoin. So given this situation, the question that we're left with is the cycle completely cooked and is everything over? Or is this an excellent buying opportunity? And the way that I'm approaching this is I'm throwing $5,000 at this little experiment, okay? And I'm thinking that either this is going to go to zero, all of it, in which case this is an acceptable risk, $5,000, or this is an amazing buying opportunity because some of these coins have pulled back, like I said, 70, 80, or even 90% from their previous all-time highs. And if I can find at least a few of those that are going to retake and exceed those previous all-time highs, then we could be in a good position. Of course, I'll also be looking for new things, new trends, new metas, and just trying to generally make good choices, which in this space is definitely hard. So that leads me to the next key part of this, which is what is the actual strategy going to be here? Now, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I really don't have any discernible edge when it comes to trading. So I'm not a high frequency trader. I'm not really necessarily good at trading on leverage. And when it comes to meme coins, on Solana, for example, I've gotten wrecked a few times before. I've hit a few W's, but also it's really a mixed bag. So I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I am a trading master. This honestly is an experiment for me to see if I can actually make some good decisions and to do it all publicly so you can track the wallet addresses and see how it goes. Now, my broad thesis going into this is if I make, let's say 5 to 7, maximum 10 bets with the pool of capital that I have to start with, if I can hit at least one solid return on one of those investments, ideally more than one, then we can actually start making some progress here. I'm also hoping to avoid putting my money into things that are going to literal zero. So in terms of what I plan on actually buying, I'm not going to be, for example, going on Pump Fund and buying new coins that are launched every minute, trying to hit the next runner that way. I will be rather focusing on maybe small to mid cap coins because I think buying the majors doesn't work with my strategy of trying to, make, let's say 5 to 10 large investments and hope that one of them 10x's or 20x's. So I have to focus, just given the general strategy here, on mid cap or even potentially small cap coins. And I need to find ones that are either underlooked, undervalued, or brand new but not super hyped. A few of the areas that I'm thinking of looking in include some stuff that has been pulled back a lot from previous all-time highs just over the past few weeks, like in the AI and the AI agent sector. I think that's definitely an interesting meta. I think there's still a lot of potential there. And personally, I feel like there's no way that this is just done for good. Another thing I am interested in looking into is the real world asset sector, including any coins that have maybe potential use cases already or revenues and actual money coming in and even potentially value accruing to the tokens. Right now, that has not been super popular. Let's just say everyone likes to trade these meme coins. But realistically, I think if we do see a return to alt season, that some of these coins could actually end up outperforming memes and, AI coins that really are also just memes. But that said, I will be looking for anything that I think has a reasonable chance of hitting, say, 5x, 10x, or more on a relatively short time horizon. Now, this entire cycle so far has really been characterized by the fact that there's just one big hot ball of money that's rotating around. And now that we have all of these different bridges and interoperability solutions that have launched, it means that you can go from Solana to an Ethereum L2 to Sui to Aptos to wherever you want to go to do your degenning like that at a very, very small cost. And so this hot ball of money has just been rotating around, getting progressively smaller and smaller as well, because every time you make a swap, some of your assets are burned, some of your assets are given up in fees, which are then extracted from the marketplace by like Pump Fund, for example. And so the amount of money that degens actually have to buy and sell stuff has been probably getting smaller and smaller. And that's why we see over the past few months that the coins that end up being runners are relatively smaller than they were previously. But that said, there are 1000% going to be underlooked and underhyped opportunities in this marketplace. And my goal is to find at least just a couple of those and get some W's with this portfolio. So that is what I'm going to do. Now, if you have any suggestions of things that you think I should look into, feel free to drop a comment down below and I'll try to include some of that in the research that I am doing. By the way, I should also say, as a part of this, as part of my research process and trying to find these hidden gems, I've been looking at some of these alpha communities that are out there. Of course, there are a ton of people that claim to sell you real alpha. Some of these are actually crazy expensive. I was not realizing some of these are well over $100 a month. These guys are charging $60 a week. Another one that's almost $200 a month, and there's tons and tons of these alpha communities out there. Now, I will say, I have actually joined a few alpha communities. I'm not gonna say which ones, and I'm not going to, for example, share literally or copy paste the stuff that they're posting because there's probably some ethical issues around that. But I have joined a few alpha communities and I'm going to be using them as a part of my research process, but also kind of testing to see whether or not they are actually legit and whether or not they're actually worth it. Anyways, for the first clip in this new portfolio, this new experiment, I did want to pick something up in the AI space. Like I said, I do not think that this meta is completely dead. It's definitely down significantly. It's taken a huge hit. And while most of the projects in the space will not recover, I'm sure that some will. Now, I think there's a few ways that you can play this. You can focus on sort of the infrastructure side of things, or you can focus on the actual app agent side of things, the actual end product that users will use. Some of the infrastructure plays like AI16Z or Virtuals or Ava is another one, are interesting to me. So right now, Ava is down basically 85% from its all-time high. Virtuals is down basically 75%, and the same is true across the board. So some of these will probably end up being good opportunities. And I may end up actually adding either Virtuals or AI16Z to the portfolio at some point. And by the way, I should also say, I'm not just going to deploy the full 5K in one clip. Also, we could see the market conditions, continue to deteriorate over the next few weeks or months. And so as I go along, I'll keep making content and sharing my process and tell you when I make those investments and open up new positions. But yeah, I'm not gonna put it all in all at once because I also wanna have some sort of time-based DCA in there as well and save some in reserve in case we see a real opportunity to catch a runner. So I was seriously considering AI16Z or Virtuals to put in the portfolio. Might still do it, but there's also a lot of other options out there. There's meme coins that are kind of adjacent to AI, like Fartcoin. Honestly, this still has pretty big mind share. And if retail ends up coming in at some point and buying meme coins a lot more like they did last cycle, I feel like Fartcoin has just sort of a natural appeal to it. So this is also definitely on the watch list. But then there's also all kinds of actual agents and applications for AI that I've been looking at, that I've been tracking. DYOR is one of them. Of course, the chart for this one also looks very, very bad. But if it ends up taking off, it could be solid. It's supposed to be like a co-pilot for doing stuff on Solana. And the product actually works. However, it's sitting at a $10 million market cap right now. There's Buzz. These guys won a Solana hackathon. Again, another AI play that has some potential actual use cases, but has just been absolutely hammered and beaten down from the top. It's down basically 85%. Griffin is another one that's on my watch list for sure. Then there's VVV. This is a token on Base actually that was launched by Eric Voorhees and his team. It had a very big pump after launch and then since then had kind of been trending down. Now I actually did pick up some around here in my other portfolio, so I'm less inclined to add it, but this is also a seriously interesting AI play. However, since this is a Degen portfolio and a Degen experiment, I've decided to take this in another direction for the first bet. I'm going to buy a token that is currently down basically 95% from its all-time high wick, which was back in December, early December. And this token is nothing. It has no name, no ticker. It has a contract address, but other than that, it's just nothing. Now, you may be asking at this point, why nothing? Well, in order to explain the rationale behind this, we have to dig a little bit deeper and go into the weeds on what this token is and who launched it, who's the team behind it, and what could they actually potentially be working on to actually reclaim previous all-time highs. Because if they do that and we trade from around a $10 million market cap back up over $100 million market cap, then that could potentially be the first 10x. Of course, major asterisk beside this. This is an incredibly risky play and could also just continue trending down to zero. That's why we're making multiple bets with this portfolio and not just going all in on nothing. So what is this token and why do I think it's interesting? So this token was launched by this guy, Schlom's. He's got a super cryptic profile on X, but he is a digital artist. He's been in the crypto space for a while. Last cycle, he blew up a Lamborghini and then tokenized the pieces of it and launched that as an NFT collection. So pretty interesting, cutting edge kind of stuff. But this token is also associated with this firm here called New Research. They actually own a few Twitter profiles that are automated, like @God. So they own this Twitter profile here. They also own @Satan. The founder of this coin has interactions on X from a ton of actual crypto OGs. They're working with a firm that is automating all of these X accounts and turning them into AI agents or bots or whatever you want to call them. They've got a super active community in Telegram, for example. Tons of people speculating on what's happening. And I think that's why also when we look at the price chart for this, it has seemed to have found kind of a floor around 10 million. And so that's why I think this is an interesting play with some pretty serious potential upside because it has that cult following and then it also has legit people behind it that are actually working seriously on AI. They have these multiple X accounts with millions of followers. And the main guy behind this is known for meticulously planning and working on his projects until he actually reaches his objectives and his goals. So when you put all of these things together, you combine it with the fact that it's got a connection with that AI meta, that it's got a solid amount locked in liquidity relative to its market cap, that it has that cult following. I think this is an interesting one to take a bet on and see if we can hit a runner. Realistically, I don't see this one going to absolute zero just because of the people behind it and backing it. So I feel like the downside is capped in that sense. And then if they actually announce something interesting, then the upside is potentially massive. So I will be actually opening my first position in this test portfolio with this nothing token. So for this position, I'm going to throw in $500. My level of conviction is not incredibly high, but also, like I said, I think the downside is somewhat capped. I don't see this one going to absolute zero, although of course this is crypto and it is a meme coin at this point with literally zero utility. So anything could happen. So that is the first play for this wallet. Now, I'm gonna continue making new content as I come up with fresh ideas, and I'll walk you through step by step exactly what I'm doing. You can track the wallets on the blockchain in real time if you're interested, or you can just wait for my updates. Hopefully you found this video interesting, and definitely do your own research. Don't necessarily just copy trade me because, like I said at the beginning, I have no edge. There's potentially a high risk of me getting absolutely wrecked in this experiment. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Cheers.